from Southern Maryland's weather leader. This is a JB Weather Alert.
And just like that, we're back. We do now actually have a brand new tornado warning in effect for parts of Westmoreland County and parts of Lancaster County on the northern neck as we continue to track that storm capable of producing a tornado that we were just talking about, although 5 minutes ago, continues to race to the north and east. And this will need to be a cell that is watched here for Southern Maryland. What I do have on the screen right now is the tornado warning information and the tracking information for this storm. This will begin to move into parts of our region potentially by the time we head on over towards 3 o'clock. So if you're in Montrose, you want to have those tornado safety precautions currently completed. You want to have that information. You want to be on the lowest level of your home, which you will get to in just a second. But this will look to cross the Potomac River into parts of Charles and St. Mary's County potentially as we head on over towards 310. So if you're in parts of Southern Maryland, no active warning for you at the moment, but there is one not far away. So if you're in St. Mary's County, you're going to want to start keeping this storm in mind as it continues to race here to the north and east. What I do want to do is take this off for a second. And I want to turn some of these layers off because I do understand that it's a little difficult to see what's going on at the moment. So let's turn that off. It is this area here, this pink polygon. So this includes parts of Westmoreland County, parts of Richmond County. Let me get the full warning text for you. So northwestern King and Queen County, northwestern Richmond County, east central Caroline County, central Westmoreland County, north central King William County, and northwestern Essex County until 3 o'clock. Active tornado warning for you. At 2:37, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Newtown or 7 miles northwest of St. Stephen's Church and moving northeast at 60 miles per hour. This is right now just a radar indicated tornado. With that said, though, it has a long history of producing damage and of having very tight rotation. And like we said, this is going to be tracking here to the north and west. North and east. By and large, we have an active tornado watch in effect for our southern community. So all of the northern neck until 8 o'clock, and then here in Southern Maryland, it's a severe thunderstorm watch until 10. The differences between the two are rather nuanced, so don't take any comfort that we're not under a tornado watch where some areas might be. Everyone has the same risk today of seeing the potential of a spin-up tornado and of seeing damaging wind gusts. For those of you that are under a tornado warning right now, again, that is parts of Westmoreland County. Just to show you quickly, if you're just now tuning in, I'm Forecaster John Bordash giving you an update here. We have an active tornado warning for parts of Westmoreland County, parts of Lancaster County, and on over towards parts of the northern neck. And we actually do not have a special marine warning in effect for the waters that are right here off of Cobb Island, Colton's Point, and just off of Tall Timbers here, this blue polygon. This is going to be a special marine warning for the potential for this cell down here to produce a water spout. So my suggestion, we're going to go back to that tornado safety precautions list. If you are, and I'm going to put that storm track back up, if you see your town name on this list, you're going to want to take those tornado safety precautions now. I would start thinking about them at least. So if if you live on the northern neck, take those tornado safety precautions. If you're in parts of St. Mary's and Calvert County, we're talking Leonardtown, we're talking even on over towards Lesby, you're going to want to start thinking about these tornado safety precautions. Let me bring you back on over. This is what you're doing if you're placed under a tornado warning. You're moving indoors to a substantial shelter that has a foundation. If there is indeed a tornado on the ground, a mobile home is not going to suffice. It's not going to protect you from the damaging winds that would be associated with this storm. You want to move to the lowest level of your home, and you're really trying to aim for a basement or a first floor. I grew up in Southern Maryland. I know not many homes have basements, especially up along the water. In the first floor, that's fine. You can stay on a first floor, but then this next point becomes even more important. You want to move into an interior room. You want to put as many walls between you and in the outside as possible. If that means you're in a hallway, if that means you're in a closet or in a bathroom, that is totally fine. When I was a kid, my mom, when we be put under a tornado warning, we grew up in a one-floor ranch-style house. The only room that did not touch the outside was a bathroom. So we got into the bathroom, we got into the bathtub, we would put helmets on our heads, and we'd even have a mattress over us. And I know that seems a little extreme, but if there is indeed a tornado on the ground, you want to protect yourself in as many ways as you can. Let's come back here again. This tornado warning is in effect here until 3 o'clock for parts of Lancaster County and parts of Westmoreland County. It's that pink polygon there. And you see this little blue outline here just off of Cobb Island, just off of Colton's Point, just off of Tall Timbers. This is going to be your special marine warning. That's going to be in effect here. Let's get that back up until 3:45 as this storm continues to race here to the north and east. No active tornado warning in St. Mary's County. No active tornado warning in Calvert County. The only thing those counties have right now is a severe thunderstorm watch. Do not get that confused. You're under the watch right now. And let me bring it back on over here. Look at the bottom corner. You're under the watch. You're not under the warning right now. Keep that in mind. You are under the warning, though, in parts of Westmoreland County, parts of Lancaster County, parts of Caroline County. Let's bring it back on over. Let's get back into the storm. I want to take a look at that velocity scan. So let's let that load up. Let's get the latest high-resolution data loaded into the system here. The storm we're tracking, it's embedded. It's this little guy right here, just to the northwest of Tappahannock. That's what we're watching. Let's get your base velocity loaded up. This shows us, and I know it's a different color scheme, this shows us where we have winds in the atmosphere and what direction they're moving and how fast they're moving. So where we're getting this red, right in here, you just saw it move in real time, those would be winds actually going away from the radar. So let me clear that. So we have winds coming this way. Where we have greens, those would be winds coming towards the radar. That is a tight rotation couplet right there that's moving just northwest of Tappahannock. That'll be crossing here near Montrose in about the next 15 minutes. We're going to continue to track this as it races here to the north and east. If you are in St. Mary's or Calvert County right now, not to diminish the threat, the active threat right now that the northern neck is under, but if you're up here in St. Mary's or Calvert counties, you might be asking, what should you do right now? Again, you're not under the tornado warning. Start thinking, though, where you would go if this warning gets extended. You want to be able to act as fast as possible, and you want to put yourself in the best position. So if this warning were to get issued, what areas do I think we could be talking about for that? Likely, and this might be difficult to see. So let me change the color there. So this isn't a tornado warning I'm drawing. These would be the areas where I would keep in mind. So we're talking south of Prince Frederick, south of Mechanicsville, but north of Park Hall. This white polygon I've drawn, this is going to be the region where we're going to be watching over the next hour. Nothing right now, but I would keep that in mind. And I know right now, I think most schools are still in, so how that plays, we'll see. I'm not too sure. And that's not to scare you, but this is something that we're going to have to really watch carefully because this is a pretty dangerous situation we have ongoing. Right now, we have this tornadic warm storm. I want to come over to a different screen quickly. So right now, we have that in northern parts of King and Queen County, and that's going to be crossing here into, I believe this is Essex County. Just north, well, sorry, right now it's in Essex County. It'll be crossing into Richmond County here pretty soon. And if we take a look at some of the winds that we're potentially seeing with this, I want to make sure we're keeping this updated. And my apologies if I'm not reading your comments. That's on a different screen. So right now, radar's estimating winds with this storm upwards of 60 miles per hour wind gusts, getting up that high. So if you are in Montrose, we're talking Erica. Let's try to get some of these town names updated. We just got a brand new update here. So let's get that started up. So we're talking over here near Warner's Mill Road. We're talking down here near Snyder Road, Bainesville Road. We're talking Route 3, down here near Montrose. These are the areas under immediate threat over the next 5 to 10 minutes. And then we're going to start to track that, getting past Montrose, getting up here near South Independence Drive, getting on over towards Artisan Drive. This should stay just to the west of Erica, just to the west of Coles Point, Virginia, into the south of Colonial Beach, right up here along the coast of the Potomac. And then we're going to have to watch and see if this tries to move on over towards Colton's Point here over the next 20 to 25 minutes. Again, you're not under the tornado warning right now in St. Mary's County, but you do need to start thinking of what you might do if you are placed under one here over the next little bit. And it looks like we might have an additional cell. And I've been watching this one a little bit. Let me switch this back here. This little cell up here that's north of our tornadic warned storm. So we have our main tornadic warned storm right down here moving just north of Tappahannock towards Montrose. We have an additional storm right here that's showing some early signs of rotation as well. I'm watching that very closely. That could potentially try to do a secondary type spin up. That's going to be something that we're watching closely as well. I want to see if we have any mesovortices, not just yet, but we're going to watch both of these as they push here to the north and west. Let's put that storm track back on there so you all know what to be watching, what's going to be coming your way, and when you should be expecting it. So let's take both of these storms together. Doing double duty here a little bit. We're going to take this out at about 60 miles an hour. Pretty quick moving storms. This is a look at your potential storm arrival times for these dual storms. Will they be tornadic warned when they hit these specific communities? That's a very good question. We will need to wait and see, but we're going to assume that they will be, so we're going to be keeping that in the back of our heads to start thinking of what could be done. If you're on over towards Clemens, 3:12 is your estimated arrival time. Leonardtown, 3:14. Lusby, 3:27. St. Leonard, 3:28. These are going to be the areas we're talking about. Cobb Island, even sooner, 3:04. You are less than 10 minutes away from these storms moving through. Keep that in mind. Leonardtown, you are just about, about 15, 20 minutes out from these storms. Start thinking now what you would do if this tornado warning gets extended. And that's not to scare you, and this isn't a situation that we want to be acting too scared about and start making irrational decisions. But let's come back here to what those tornado safety precautions are. These are the things you want to start thinking about. We want to start answering some of these questions. What is a substantial shelter for you if these storms move into your area? Where would you be going? A mobile home is not going to be okay. Would you be going down the street quickly to the fast food restaurant? Do you have a next door neighbor you could room with? Lowest level of your home, where is that? Is that your basement? Is that your first floor? How many walls can you put between you and the outside? These are all critical questions you want to start thinking about if you're outside of these tornado warning zones, St. Mary's and Calvert County. If you're in the tornadic warning zones, you're going to be watching these very closely right now. We just got a brand new radar scan in here. Let me take the manual tracking off. Let's come back over here. I want to take a look at these velocity scans. Maybe some good news. These don't necessarily look like the rotation is as tight, but I still see a decent amount of rotation. And we've seen tornadic warned storms get warned for even less. And maybe we are looking at these pulsating down, but with the history that this cell has had, I am not going to be giving an all clear for this storm just yet. This is a worrisome storm. This has a history of producing funnel clouds and of producing wind damage as it is tracked here to the north and east. If you're in Westmoreland County, if you're in northern parts of Richmond County, these are going to be the locations you want to start. You need to be in your tornado safe places right now. I do want to switch gears a little bit. I want to take us on up towards our local radar, LWX. We're starting to get into our radar coverage zone. I want to see what these are showing us right now. Yeah, so right now it definitely looks like we're looking at a high wind threat with these storms. That rotation does not show up as clearly, which is some good news. We want to see that, but I really cannot. I mean, what would probably happen at this point is that we might see a severe thunderstorm warning get issued for parts of Calvert and St. Mary's County with the tag of potentially producing a tornado. With that said, We'll see. Again, I'm not ready to give an all clear for these storms. They have a history of rotating. If we take this back here over the last little bit, we can see how these storms have raced up. Let's take us on over here. Let's get that loop loaded up. You can see how these storms have a history of producing tornado warnings through Richmond as they've traveled northward, prompting that one that we're currently dealing with in parts of Westmoreland County, parts of northern Richmond County. Let me see if I have my road tool turned back on. They are. So let's get that loaded up. So Horner's Mill Road, you are under the gun right now from this storm as it continues to track towards Route 3. Bainesville Road, let's see, Finch's Hill Road, China Hill Road, Snyder Road. These are all locations under this threat right now from the southern storm. The northern storm is moving through the southern parts of Colonial Beach. So Leadstown Road on over here towards Bowie Road. We're talking Route 3 right now. And then on over towards, again, Leadstown Road. These are the areas that are under this active tornado threat. And these are the storms that are racing north and east. And we have an additional storm back down to the south and west that's pushing through parts of Caroline County that has also had a history of producing tornadic signatures on radar. And we're going to be watching that closely as well, as that's going to move right behind these storms. We have no active warnings in effect for our local area in southern Maryland right now. They are just confined to parts of the northern neck. But as we take a zoom out, we see our line of storms back to the west, all of that lightning up over 600 strikes, pushing through parts of Pennsylvania, pushing through parts of western Maryland and West Virginia. We're going to be watching that later on this evening as these storms all look to be pushing through. So those storms are moving just about due west. What we have moving through right now is pushing to the north and east. So we will continue to watch all of this. It looks like that tornado warning has been allowed to expire right now for parts of Westmoreland County and for parts of Richmond County. Your warning is no longer in effect. We do maintain this special marine warning though. That goes here until 3:45. The National Weather Service continues that waterspout possible tag with it. That tells us that we are going to be watching for these storms to maybe try to rotate a little bit again. That potential is 100% on the table, especially given the type of setup we have today. I'm going to take us back to the high resolution version of this. Let's take a look at that base velocity again. And we'll see what kind of rotation we're looking at. And while we don't have those reds and greens touching, which we typically look at, an additional source of rotation we can see on radar would be where we get the brightest returns and the darkest returns of the same color. So like right in here, that would be the remnant area of potential rotation. And then I even see further down to the south here where that would be. So we're going to watch this again. The tornado warning has been allowed to expire at 3 o'clock. So I will give the computer a second to register that is no longer in effect. But what I will do, I want to bring you on over here. Let's bring you, there we go. So these are kind of our three storms here we're watching. Champlain, just off the index, just to the southwest of Central Point. These are the three storms we're watching at the moment. Taking a larger zoom out, you see our storms back out here to the west. Let's take temperatures off for a minute too. That just kind of clouds things. You see these storms back to the west. That's with our cold front that's pushing on through. These storms all down here. And it's not just these 1, 2, 3 storms. We have an entire swath of rain. Not all of this is moving through. These storms are moving to the north and east. So we're not going to catch all of this. With that said, though, we will catch some of it. And we're going to be watching these first two cells right here. I see Marcus is asking any tornadoes in Leonardtown. Leonardtown is not under any sort of warning right now. You are all good. We were tracking those tornado-warned storms pushing through parts of Virginia. We're going to watch how those storms interact as they continue to push here to the north and east. Let's bring you back on over here into our high-resolution radar. Again, those tornado warnings have been allowed to expire. Some very good news is that these storms look like they're beginning to disorganize a little bit. They're becoming a little bit more just of a heavy rain blob, which is good news. active rotation. We have some remnants of that, but I don't see any active rotation. My attention's turning down here towards Caroline County right now. You see this storm continues to hold on a little bit of remnant rotation. We'll see how that goes as it tracks here to the north and east. So where we stand right now is that we have no active warnings anywhere in the JB Weather Nation region. No active warnings in southern Maryland, no active warnings down in on the northern neck. Nothing right now. What we do have in effect right now is a tornado watch for Westmoreland County, Northumberland County, Lancaster County, Richmond County. Those 4 counties, along with much of eastern Virginia, under a tornado watch until 8. Southern Maryland and much of the DC metro area as well. Severe thunderstorm watch until 10. The differences between the two are very nuanced, especially for our region. The threats are pretty much the same no matter what side of the Potomac you're sitting on. We're going to be tracking that potential for gusty winds upwards of 70 miles per hour. The potential for a few spin-up tornadoes cannot be ruled out. We've already seen that today. We already have a report of a funnel cloud from those cells that are trying to move across the Potomac now. Back when they moved through Richmond about a half hour ago, they produced a funnel cloud. We could be looking at hail upwards of 1 inch in diameter. So we're going to watch these. And that's exactly what we're under, we're under the watches, right? So if we take a look back at that taco watch graphic, we have no active warnings. We have no active tacos right now. We have the beef is out, or the turkey, or whatever you cook with. We got the shells out. You got the avocados out. But we have no active tornado warnings. We have no active severe thunderstorm warnings. And today, you're going to treat those severe thunderstorm warnings the same way you would a tornado warning. If one gets issued for you, you're going to treat it the exact same way because these systems have a habit of quickly spinning up and then quickly spinning down. They both will produce gusty winds and a little bit of lightning and some very heavy rain, maybe even a little bit of hail. But again, as we said, right now, no active warnings. I'm hesitant to sign off at the current moment because it seems like when I do that, we come right back with a warning, and I don't want to clutter people's news feeds right now with a whole bunch of JB Weather is live, JB Weather is not live. With that said, though, we're still tracking these 3 storms. We're continuing that special marine warning, so it's a marine-based warning, not a land-based warning. For these cells, as they track north and east, they're about to cross here on a Cobb Island on over towards Colton's Point. What I do want to do is see if we can't just get I want to see if I can get some of our traffic cams just loaded up ahead of time to see what it is we're going to be tracking as they move into our region. Let me turn that off. But yeah, these are going to be the cells. So right now, I would expect our viewership to drop a little bit because right now these storms are not actively producing a tornado. We don't have an active warning in effect at the moment, which is very great news. And right now on our cameras, I'm not seeing any signs of I'm not seeing anything too ominous across our region. What we do have right now is a lot of rain, and we have those gusty winds, and that's probably the most obvious thing I could tell you at this point. So right now, I do think we're at a place where I'm good to sign off for the time being. With that said, if we get any new warnings, I will be back here with you, even if it's 2 seconds from now. I'll be back here with you to give you the latest information. What I do want you to keep in mind as we move throughout the rest of the evening, and then we'll sign off. Watches are in effect. These are not warnings. We're going to be talking about watches right now. Tornado watch to the south, severe thunderstorm watch to the north. The difference is nuanced. It really is non-existent. Everyone's just kind of under a watch until 8 or 10 o'clock, depending on where you are. And if you get placed under either a tornado warning or a severe thunderstorm warning later today, these are the things you are going to be doing, and I want you to start thinking about that right now. I know we're about to enter into the evening rush hour, and I know we're about to have schools begin to let out, so that might be a concern you have. Is my kid going to be okay? If you're a teacher teaching out in a trailer, am I going to be okay staying out here for another hour? Those will be decisions that the school boards will need to make, and typically they do make those decisions pretty promptly in these types of situations. This isn't a super high tornado threat today, which is good, but there is a non-zero threat that we've already seen realized in parts of the region. So we'll continue to watch all of this. Keep these tornado safety precautions in the back of your head and try to think of what you would do. Where's the lowest level of your home? Where's a substantial shelter for you? How many walls can you put between you and the outside? And I keep saying we're going to go, but then I keep looking back at this radar, and it's just so interesting to me. These two little cells here moving through, and I just don't trust them. These little cells always have a way, once they move over the river, of trying to spin on up. But no imminent threat right now, so we'll sign off. If we have a new warning, we'll come back. You can get me on any social media you're on, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. The website's a really great place to get updates as well. So I'll be here with you throughout the evening. Have a nice and safe one, and keep it tuned right here to JB Weather for the latest information.
Check the forecast anytime online at jbweather.net.